Your gynecologist advises your mom, the second kid is coming, give more attention to the first kid. Two brothers and their wives come in, and Madam Ekta Kapoor makes millions of dollars through Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi. Power struggle in the kitchen room, from the boardroom. The other piece is whole damn thing called trust. So juxtapose, ladies and gentlemen, placed before you a behavioral model of 4-8 scenarios. When the trust is high, when the trust is low. So first up, you report to me, I'm the boss, I have the power, what's my behavioral dimension? Trust between you and me is very high, I will nurture you. Out goes the trust, you cheat me, you didn't tell me information, I don't have trust, I'm going to exploit you. Scenario 2, ladies and gentlemen, Varda is my boss. Now my behavior vis-a-vis my boss. The other, he or she, I made it gender neutral. The moment the trust is, I depend on him. Sir, you are my mentor. Hopefully the mentor doesn't become a tormentor. Most bosses will say, there's only two solutions to every problem. The wrong solution and my solution. How do you handle that? The moment trust goes down, I tamely submit. My body language will be stooped shoulders, bloody indifference. I'm out there in the job market. I'm just waiting there because there's no trust. Third scenario, VP marketing, VP finance, VP manufacturing, VP sales. Two peers in an organization, two general managers. I teach at the Indian School of Business, I run a program there on leadership. The pre-course dinner, I hear only one comment. Pramod, I've got the financials fixed up, I've got the manufacturing fixed up, I've got the marketing fixed up. The one thing I lose my sleep over is this bloody people stuff. My HR guy and marketing are just not at loggerheads. My finance guy and production guy at loggerheads. How do I manage this? It's a program called LSTM. High trust. Two vice presidents under a CEO. Huge collaborative. You can see it, companies that sizzle with energy. Excellent positivity. High trust. The moment the trust goes out the window, one-upmanship, backstabbing, and you compete, but you compete into bracket negatively. It's like this lovely door, beautiful shine outside, lovely building, lovely floor, lovely receptionist, but you knock there and you see stinks of politics. Read an article called, by Sumantra Ghosal, Every Organization Has a Smell. Okay? Lastly, two management trainees in an organization. No power, right? You have the but high trust. You take the 742 Borivali local or now Kalka local in Delhi. What do? I've used a better word called crib. Catharsis. Tera boss kaisa hai? Kutta yaar. Mera boss, mera bhi kutta yaar. High trust. So there is this thing going on there. Low trust, plain indifference. Ladies and gentlemen, cracking this equation between power on one and trust, it's happening all over the time. Tomorrow morning, you go back to workplace, see where you are in this 8-box matrix and what's happening there. Therefore, so what's the big deal? 3 things. It doesn't come on a silver platter. You got to earn trust. 2, after 40 years of marriage, somebody is filing for a divorce. It's bloody transient. A missed call, a blind copy, a CC, out goes trust. You got to be at it between brothers and sisters, husband and wife, employee and manager, all the time. And 3rd, if in the past you've trusted and you've been let down, it's very difficult to gain trust. How the heck? And if you see the previous slide, it's all about trust. The positivity is all in the top cadre. Engagement is in the top cadre. Whether you have the power, I have the power, both have the power, neither have the power, it's about trust. That's the equation. And to me, I would like to place before this august audience, this is going to be, therefore, up close and personal. Can we therefore re-architect a Boeing or a Fokker friendship flying from here to Chandigarh? While flying it, can you re-architect? You would say, stupid idea. Welcome to the world then of transforming while performing. No company is going to say, oh, you transform, don't perform. Oh, you perform, don't transform. It's got to be there simultaneously. Can't face the heat of the kitchen? Step out. The work which I'm doing some research. But the first thing is this whole piece of IQ, intelligence quotient. The second piece, this whole thing of Daniel Goleman's world of emotional intelligence called the emotional quotient. But to me, the criticality is going to be the spiritual quotient. I beautifully summed it up in my last slide. So first, IQ, you know it all. 7th grade, you start grooming your kid for an IIT admission at 7th standard. The emotional piece is all about passion. Are you even aware about the role and the influence you have on your context, whether in a flight or a hotel or in this room? Being aware. And secondly, the Stephen Covey's 90-10 principle, you do not have control on 10% things, but 90% how you react to what happens to you, be it a breakup, be it a sacking, be it a promotion, or be it a big job. How do you react? And in today's world of Google, Orkut, and Facebook, this huge world of connectedness. And pardon me to quote a lovely sentence I read somewhere, not mine, it's in Hindi. हर दम हर पल किसी गैर की तलाश में रहता है आदमी. हर दम हर पल किसी गैर की तलाश में रहता है आदमी. Handle this if you can. इस डर से कि कहीं खुद से मुलाकात ना हो जाए. Running away from here. I need to respond here. This message, this one, that one. What about the connect here? Which brings me to the most important piece, the last one. And I've not defined it, I've not dared, because it's a very individual personal journey in corporate world. You could still have that palatial swanky bungalow and a BM7 and yet be brutally honest. Otherwise you'd be cooling your heels in the jail. The IQ, I mean, who do you think big companies which went down in 2008 hire? They hire Ivy League grads from Harvard, Stern, MIT, Yale and all. And how these companies went away. And I will not name them, you know them all. A leader is today not invited to a campus like this because part of low spiritual quotient. Therefore, to piece it all in my simple equation, I'm a maths graduate, a little bias on equations. Your personal quotient, the next generation, who's going to be demanding out of you as a leader, is a function of course, IQ and EQ. You need that superior brain to crack the algorithm, to do the balance sheet analysis. Or you got to be very savvy knowing what to speak where, which interview, you got to be having that. But here's the deadly one. The multiplier factor, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be spiritual quotient. Great IQ, very savvy in your business relationship, but low values, low vision, because the sign is into X. It's a multiplier. So imagine IQ 100, EQ 100, 200 into either 0 or minus down the tube, which is what you see all around when you see frauds and malpractices. To sum up, re-architecting your DNA, huge physical energy, 12, 14 hours work, excellent emotional connect, no Tendulkar, no Pandit Bhimsen Joshi, huge mental focus, that robust data analysis, and most importantly, fear not, and I'm not talking of religion here, this is not an Astha channel, I'm talking of being right, not falling for the greed of that money. Scott Sullivan was a 29-year-old CFO of Enron. At 29, he had $1 million house and $1 million bonus. And you know what happened? Egging on, greeding on. Because this generation, if they build up a sound base, therefore to sum up, my last slide, I quite like this lovely quote by Robert Frost, which says, I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverge in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has made all the difference. Thank you very much for a very patient hearing. Have a great day today. Thank you.
Thank you, Pramod, for sharing such a lot of research and how you link it back to HR and how to be spiritually quotient. He meant the right spirit, gentlemen. The next speaker is Dabas. Mr. Dabas needs no introduction, and Hari has given the introduction. It's all yours, Mr. Dabas.
Thank you for that.
And you have 18 minutes because Mr. Pramod took 2 extra minutes.
I'll treat you on a coffee.
Okay, thank you.
That's 1 minute less.
But both of you have said wonderfully the context for innovations. Well, good morning, friends.
Good morning.
Let me share the practices of innovative HR practices and why the need for innovations. I would say 2 things. One is, if you are a dreamer and if you have the challenge, you need to innovate. Otherwise, these are 2 very essential. That means if you are a dreamer, if you have the dream to go somewhere else or to do something, and second is that if you have the challenge, because these 2 are very essential condition, I would say. On a personal front, I had both. While being a peasant boy, I'm lucky I was born in a village. My father never went to school, but he gave me excellent values. But still, I used to dream while working in the fields that I'll be traveling like Columbus. And I innovated many things of, I have traveled in USA, maybe no Indian might have traveled with family. So maybe that's also because I had a dream. And I had a challenge that I came from so maybe that helped me in really becoming more innovative. I'll share some stories of innovations. And fortunately, I worked with some of the very, very visionary CEOs, Mr. Satish Kaura. When we led in 84, I was heading the HRD of Semtel. Really, some of the innovative practices with Mr. Satish Kaura. I got that best grooming in HR. Later on, I'll share something about two companies here. One is Trident, which is very published stories about innovative HR practices and featured also. And second is my current organization, Trident. Well, one more personal front, Mr. Vadrajan, he has been my successor as the president of Nestle HRD Network. Well, I was given the challenge because HRD Network used to operate from my house. And I used to go to Taj Palace in 98, visualizing in Taj Palace how 1,000 delegates would be there in the recent conference, which is also coming 14th. I was a convener of the 6th Nestle conference. And I used to dream that how we'll be having 1,000 international delegates, no resource, no internet in those days, no office, and only the personal telephone of R.S. Dabas used to be maybe that official telephone. I wrote to 5,000 chairmen, dear Ratan Tata, dear Rahul Bajaj, personal letter. Mrs. Dabas used to even put the envelope at 2 o'clock in the night. And believe me, we had a wonderful conference. That's how Delhi chapter building was even purchased later on also. I would say if there is a challenge, because there was challenge, there was no building, there was no, and we had a dream. Our whole team has a dream that how we can, I think what I'm saying is that if there is a dream, if there is challenge, there is going to be innovations. You cannot solve today's problem with yesterday's mindset. What got you here will not take you there, what Marshall Goldsmith says. Innovations were never accepted at first phase, no matter how sensational it became later on. Uncertainty and challenge can accelerate creativity. Next generation practice will create employer branding today. But let me tell you, some of the best practices of today and past will still remain relevant. It's not that every day we are going to innovate. What Tata did long back is still one of the benchmark also. Let me quote some stories, some practices. One is this company. I really have been very proudly associated with this company. This company was 56 crore in 93 when I joined them, and this company is dreaming 15,000 crore by 2015. They just take a pride. There are some people who just don't follow the rules, rather they create their own. Being different is just a normal thing at Trident. You will find a lot of innovative practice in this organization. 24 hours helpline open, 24 घंटे खुला हुआ है. कोई असुविधा, कोई सुझाव, कोई शिकायत आपके पास है. You can contact so and so with email, contact, telephone number. अगर 8 घंटे में आपको जवाब मिलेगा, नहीं मिला, you can contact managing director Rajendra Gupta. It is called RG. His mobile number, telephone number, email number. फैसला रुका, मौका चुका. There were 43 kaizens or suggestions or within 3 months. That's the spirit of innovations. That means you have to really float. You have to reflect that you are open for ideas. Then only innovation comes. Well, some of the innovative practice of Trident, I mean, this was before JBM, I was working there. And I had earlier worked also in 93 period that time. So I'm relating both my tenure there. Abolition of attendance recording for all employees. First experiment in 93, 2nd October 93, this was the first company in the country that they have thrown away attendance even for casual workers. Just declare your salary at the end of the month, finance will pay it. Because trust leads to trust. If you are starting with a mistrust, certainly you are going to create mistrust. So that was the new beginning. Everybody used to call us crazy, that time even. This was something unique happening that time. No designation to be allowed in this company. All to be called Trident members. If you write your designation as vice president, you'll be penalized 500 rupees. You can better write your designation to impress the in-laws, to impress the neighbors, to impress anybody outside. You can write your external designation, but inside the company, if you write designation, you are going to penalize 500 rupees that time. MD being appraised by a team of managers. RG, he said, I have to be appraised by all of you. I asked him, sir, why don't you sit on the hot chair? So I collected a note from what is good about RG. That time, 360-degree was not even prevalent also. And we obtained all his feedback. What is good about him? What is his areas for focus? I told him, sir, this is very good about you. Sir, this is very good. He said, Dabas, tell me my weakness. And when I really first bombarded with all positive, but came that these are the areas for improvement. Believe me, after that, all managers, they had their boxes, aapke vichar mere bare mein. And this was something asking the people to chair the hot seat. Something that means it was not, today there is 360-degree appraisal on personality evaluation. No, it's an expectation, clarify the expectation of the person. Take more responsibility, decide your earning. We started way back in 93. Provide opportunity for job rotation and enlargement without prejudgment. And not only that, asking employees to write their market value. You ask what is your market value, we'll pay you, but you have to work as per what we have agreed jointly. And this was, as a result, this company, they announced, it was a very small company, 8.3 crore was the loss, and this company decided that, okay, if all of you have decided, we will pay 30% minimum salary to everybody, and for the next 7 years, this company continued more than that, maybe 70%, 100%. This is one of the best paymaster in the country, considered one of the best. I would say, because there was agreement that, okay, this is what we are going to, because we used to ask people, me and RG, what's your market value? People used to come, sir, my market value 25% kam hai, meri 22% kam hai. We said, okay, we'll pay minimum 30%, but this is what is the expectation from you. If you deliver it, we'll pay more than 30%. And this company maintained that also. Today we float in many companies, Intel job posting, people say they cannot be relieved. This company said, if anybody is ready to take any higher responsibility, no prejudgment, we will first give him for 6 months. And if it fails, then only we'll reduce his salary. But let's go for that. And this was something, it requires really a lot of guts, and people used to call us crazy. Biannual open house, this was started way back in 93, 2,500 people sitting alone, no chair. But later on, it has really emerged beautifully with the help of the Anil Sachdeva, Grow Talent team, large-scale interactive process, 10,000 people gathering for next 10 days, 1,000 people in all, and all about vision sharing. Initially, when we started open house, it was all grievances. Next 6 months, it was suggestion. Next 6 months, it was all about Kaizen improvements. And later on, it has today gradually, it has emerged into the LSIP, a large, beautiful 10,000 people in LSIP in that company. And I would say, and this LSIP is used for vision sharing, for empowerment, for involvement, because if you involve the people in setting their own objective, achievement become their mission. Learning in Trident is either a continuous thing or nothing at all. In a very interesting, innovative way, there was no library of this company. We said every staff member has to contribute an old book. You just, any book which you like, bring to the library, put your signature, and this would be, let it be a discarded book from your home. And believe me, we had 350 books that time. It's a wonderful, now it's a big library. Whenever I go to Barnala, I always see who have read my old books, which I donated from my house. Because this was, involvement is more important. Innovation doesn't require that you have to be costly. Let it be simple, down to earth, but let it be. So I would say self-development and many, many things. This company really takes about 500 people at Satbadi in a dharmsala they stay. It's a training is a continuous, because stagnation comes when ideas get stopped. Never allow stagnation to come. This is one about the Trident, I would say, and the company has truly, from a 56 crore company, they are dreaming 15,000 crore. They are the largest territory of the world. They have come 1,000 acre for this largest bed seat. It's a wonderful organization. And let me come to my current organization. And we are really in a big, because 80 to 84% becomes the cost of material. We are into auto component domain, 33 plants across the country. And joint venture with ArcelorMittal, with Sumitomo, with Maruti Suzuki, Jawhar Maruti, with Thai Summit. All these are our joint venture. They know how JBM can operate in a highly competitive. So cost is one of the big factor. Speed is, customer की line रुक जाएगी, सबसे बड़ा default है. Because customer की line नहीं रुकनी चाहिए. 12 मिनट में हमारा माल जय भारत मारुति से मारुति में चला जाता है. So it is all operating on just, you have to be innovative, as because cost is one of the, speed is one of the other factors. So, and we may not be the aggressive paymaster, but how we became innovative in some of the practices, I'm trying to find out in a humble way to present to you what is. First is management retreat, Vision 2020, enablers and challenge we discussed. It was Tarudhan Valley, and we had a dream of 30,000 crore by 2020, this group. Tell 3 things that work for this, tell 3 things that do not work. We have very frequently keep on going to the shop floors, asking randomly, what 3 things work here in JBM Group, what 3 things don't work, just spontaneously. Chunauti, a program which we started, it's basically challenge. This Chunauti was, I gave this word in Maruti when I was a freelancer, that how Maruti, this was enrolling everybody in Maruti to achieve 10 lakh car by 2010. So I even took that word also. Here the objective is involve everybody down to the all level, attitude, belongingness, commitment, teamwork. And we involve everybody in Chunauti. Sharing success stories, using appreciative inquiry, dil se. That means there are 2 aspects here. I made it happen. Let people speak. जंगल में मोर नाचा किसने देखा, देखने वाले नहीं तो नाचने वालों ने नाचना ही बंद कर रखा है. People have stopped becoming innovative or achiever because nobody is listening to them. So we need to encourage them a lot. I think that's what sharing of success stories. And also we started Dil Se. That means you appreciate the other person who has supported you so that next time he will continue supporting you. Value deployment workshop, walk the talk. We have honesty, simplicity,